The African night. It seems as wild and alien as the surface of the moon. This film about one night in the Serengeti will be a revelation. And a chance to see things that we've never seen before. As night falls, new technology gives us an unrivaled view. Instead of drowning in darkness, the camera detects infrared beams that light up the landscape. Without the camera, the lights are invisible. Out there in the blackness, the animals have to make the most of moonlight and starshine. But they don't rely on their eyes alone. They use their ears and noses as well. This elegant cat is the star of the show, a caracal with 3 young kittens. While they're small, she's restricted to a small part of her home range, and although it's only about 12 kilometers square, it's a busy place. The tufted-eared caracals are a bit bigger than our domestic cats, and from an early age, they're the best jumpers in the cat world. Life in the Serengeti is tough and competitive, but now her work's really cut out. Male cats don't get involved in family life, so she's bringing up her kittens on her own. She hunts at night when it's cool, but that means she's got a limited time to find food. They're still too young to go hunting, so she tucks them away. Although they're out of sight, the hole's no defense against lions or hyenas, so she can't risk leaving them too long. And tonight, hunting will be hard. With a full moon riding high, there isn't much darkness to use as cover. She knows every stick, stone, and blade of grass around here. And it's just as well, because she might have to travel a long way before she finds the right prey to hunt. The fullness of the moon gets her in trouble straight away. Crowned plovers spot her coming. She doesn't want to attract attention. She relies on the element of surprise to hunt successfully. Even worse, some of the neighbors are coming to find out what's going on. Nosy, bat-eared foxes are easily dealt with, but the next arrival might be different. The variation in light levels at night is dramatic. 10 times more extreme than a day. The change can happen in seconds. As it becomes darker, it's easier for the caracal to hunt, but it's just as easy for her to bump into the wrong animals by mistake. Lions have huge territories, but tonight the pride's moving into her patch, which isn't good news for the caracals, or for this female wildcat. African wildcats live on their own. They're the ancestors of our household cats and can survive on just insects. But in the Serengeti, their diet is much richer. So much so that at least 10 adults share this part of the caracal's home range. In the dark, the wildcat has got the edge. Her eyes are 100 times more sensitive than most birds. Now the trick's to get away from the scene before anyone finds her. This male serval cat could steal her kill. The small cats normally tolerate each other, but they prefer to keep their distance. Marking bushes with urine spells out who's been around, and when. All servals are expert rodent hunters. Cooler temperatures and higher humidity mean sound travels so well at night that this cat can almost hear a mouse's whisker twitch. Less subtle sounds carry 5 kilometers, or even more. At least the female caracal now knows where the lions are. Reassured that they're not too close, she's also listening out for prey. Spring hares. These nervous creatures don't emerge from their burrows until well after dark. They're fast, so she's got to get as close as she can. Their night vision is good, but she can use the lie of the land, the vegetation, and, while clouds cover the moon, the darkness, to help mask her movements. Neither the caracal or the spring hares can see as well as the camera. This battle of wits depends just as much on picking up scents and sounds. The really hard work's just begun. Now she's got to protect her kill. The first character to bumble into the scene is an aardvark. Luckily, he's not an enemy or a competitor. Aardvarks are one of the busiest of all night animals. They feed on ants and termites, but their portly bulk can only be satisfied by something like 200,000 or 300,000 every night. The best concentrations are deep underground, But aardvarks have got a great nose for an ant. They look clumsy and messy eaters, but from the caracal's point of view, the deeper an aardvark digs, the better. These are the best bolt holes for her kittens, and with so many enemies running wild at night, she needs all the help she can get. Spotted hyenas are enemy number one. They even worry big cats like cheetahs. Now they've been forced to move, the wildcat's got to try to avoid them. Cheetahs, lions and leopards kill their smaller cousins. Not to eat. They just can't bear any trace of competition. This wildcat's also a mother, but she's only got one kitten left from a litter of 4. The majority of kittens fail to make adulthood. There are just so many predators hiding in the blackness. Leopards are the most sneaky of all the big cats, so it's crucial that mother and kitten keep a very low profile indeed. For the moment, though, the female leopard hasn't got wildcats on her mind. She's heard some guinea fowl. Although the moon's bright, her coat is such good camouflage in the long grass that the birds can't spot her, although they have got sharp ears. So her approach has got to be absolutely silent. The birds are lucky. They've chosen young acacias that are too thorny for her to reach top speed. And it's no good trying to be stealthy now. White-tailed mongooses love beetles, and they're laxing when elephants leave their calling cards. Beetle juice also helps to fire up a family of bat-eared foxes and gives them plenty of time to spare. They're just natural busybodies. And these circles have been rumbled. The foxes seem outraged. 1-0 to the foxes. Now they're free to cause trouble elsewhere. It's the witching hour, and love is in the air. This time for wildcats. But the male hasn't got an easy time ahead of him. Although his lady cat's in estrus, she's giving him the runaround. She's very nervous of his amorous advances and is torn between two instincts, privacy and procreation. It could take a while before the tomcat's unique charms win her over. He's also in a quandary. He desperately wants to mate, but he's on tenterhooks. He's cautious of her and also worried that they're attracting attention. It's the white-tailed mongoose, fresh from enjoying the elephant dung, that arrives first. He might be a bit smelly, but he's not a problem. Unlike the next visitor. A male caracal. He's no stranger to the area. He's the father of the kittens. Now the gallant suitor's got a big problem. His senses are telling him to run, but he doesn't want to lose his heart's desire, so surprisingly, he stands his ground. And his passion takes both him and the caracal by surprise. Fresh from the fray, he can return to the tricky art of courtship, wild cat style. The male caracal doesn't come here that often. His territory covers some 60 square kilometers and includes the home ranges of several females. And now he's back. The impala won't be able to relax. Male caracals are so strong that they're the Rambos of the small cat world. The moonlight's so bright that he has to make the most of the shadows, but the antelope are no pushover. All their senses are telling them that something dangerous is close by. It's curtains for the mongoose, and the caracal's in trouble. The vigilantes have already arrived. The bat-eared foxes aren't sure what he's killed, and the cat doesn't know how many foxes are surrounding him. Anything could be coming. And he can't escape the neighborhood watch. At long last, the foxes get bored and leave him alone. Luckily for him, the lions aren't that close, and they're about to be distracted by something else. The lions are curious rather than hungry, and the more experienced ones soon give up. After all, they don't want to risk getting a spine in a paw. But there's always one. Spines rule. Meanwhile, precious time is slipping away for the female caracal, and her larder's still bare. She's keen to take on anything. This cory bustard is 3 times her height. It's the wrong side of midnight for her. Some night creatures don't have time to sleep. Zorillas eat little, and often. Striped hyenas, too. Solitary and busy hunters, they often travel 30 kilometers before their stomachs are full. Zorillas eat all sorts of insects and reptiles. They're bold enough to put their noses into anything, and they're about to get a big surprise. It looks as if one of them's bitten off more than it can chew. It's the female. And while she's tied up, the male seems more than happy to leave her to it. But the snake's doomed. The wildcats are still love-struck. After all his efforts, she's beginning to melt. His luck might be in. Now that the ice is broken, they'll probably mate many times before dawn, neighbors willing. Tonight, the moon's not helping the female caracal at all. She needs a lucky break, and this love tryst might be just the thing. A couple of Cape hares are beguiled by a female. They're so deeply engrossed that they're not watching their backs. But right at the 11th hour, an informer arrives. A spotted dickup, and it spills the beans. The game's up. Tonight, luck's just not on her side. At their age, the kittens can't be trusted to keep their heads down. In this neighborhood, that is very dangerous. The night's been good to the wildcat mother. Having eaten her fill of insects and birds, she's now hunting for something to feed her kitten. Hunting a mouse is trickier than catching small birds. The slippery little things have got a lot of holes to disappear into. The youngster is 3 months old, the same age as the caracal kittens. But if all goes well, it will be looking after itself in only a few more weeks, whereas the caracals will be depending on their mother for another 7 months or so. Covering up strong scents is vital when the neighbours are deadly and armed with a superb sense of smell. It's easy to see where domestic cats get their fastidiousness from. For these wild cats, tonight has been a breeze. It's different for the caracal. She needs to find something bigger than a mouse to feed her family. But still the setting moon shines bright and clear. She's found some white storks that have chosen a precarious refuge for the night. And, just as fortuitously, the moon slipped into a cloud. The storks can hear her, but they can't see her. And it's too dark for them to risk flying away. But frustratingly, the birds are just out of reach. It's stalemate. Then one bird panics. This is her last chance tonight, so she can't make a mistake. The stalk's too heavy to move far, so she'll have to bring the kittens to the kill. And it will be a perilous journey. The leopard's also struck lucky. Such a strong animal appears invincible. But not to a hyena. Leopards hunt on their own, and an injured leopard is a dead leopard. Faced with such a formidable force, caution pays. The leopard's loss is the caracal's gain. It's vital that the hyenas are kept occupied. She drags the stork towards an aardvark hole, just in case. Unfortunately, the smell of blood drifts across the plains, a powerful magnet for any scavenger that picks it up. The kittens are too frightened to feed. The hole is their best and only refuge, but it doesn't guarantee safety. That depends on their mother and on what's coming this way. She's got to drive the hyena off, even though it's so much more powerful than her. The hyena tries to summon reinforcements. Her biggest battle's just begun, and she's on her own. All her attention is focused on saving the kittens, and she stays next to the hole to try and keep the hyenas away. The stork doesn't matter now. Her maternal instincts are driving her beyond bravery. The hyenas are triumphant, even though the bird's just a snack for them. The stork would have kept the caracal family going for 2 nights. All her hard work has gone down the drain. The caracal's courage has won the family a respite, but the clan could come back at any moment, so she's got to move her youngsters fast. They hightail it for over a kilometre before stopping near another aardvark hole. The night's over. It's been tense and sometimes terrifying, but she's proved to be a real star of the Serengeti. She's smart, brave and determined. A skilled and athletic hunter, it's no failing of hers that the kittens have gone hungry tonight. It's just pure bad luck that she bumped into the wrong characters at the wrong time. Maybe tomorrow will be a different story. But for these small cats, one thing is certain. The dangers and opportunities of another night are just 12 hours away.